What's going on, people? Bitcoin is 105,934 and we are sat comfortably in these long positions that I've been talking about for a few days. Came to you 4 days ago talking about the structure that was forming and why I was going long. I always take profits at 1-to-1 initially, but 50% off, and we're holding the rest. So I can do a quick recap on the structure and how it's been playing out, but the entry on this trade was a bullish 15-minute market structure shift after a 50% pullback on the daily. This was an indication for us that the 15-minute trend was going to change, with the targets being the hourly OB. But forgetting about the targets, you initially want to focus on your entry and develop a thesis on whether or not you think the trend is changing. And this is what I trade, mostly market structure shifts, so a trend in a change, and I need to see confirmation on multiple time frames first. And that's hopefully what you guys will understand as you watch me. You'll understand how I trade. Very similar to 𝗗𝗦𝗦𝗖𝗟𝗔𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗥, if you've watched him before. I actually developed most of my trading strategy thanks to him. He's given me permission to talk about it on the live, but yeah, 𝗗𝗦𝗦𝗧𝗧 is really good if you want to check him out, 𝗗𝗦𝗧𝗧. But yeah, initially the 15-minute trend, it was indicating that it was going to change, so we went long here, took profits at 1-to-1, and we're holding because we saw a nice choppy pullback after this bullish market structure shift. And what I was telling you on the live was, if we see some sort of market structure shift here on the 15-minute, it will indicate again that the 15-minute trend is going to change, and that will form some sort of double bottom, which is exactly what happened. So on the 15-minute we had bullish market structure here. Again, I came to my X and I told you we're either going lower, take out some of this liquidity, or if we made a 15-minute market structure shift, we'd likely see some sort of pullback and then a push higher, double bottom would form. And this is just almost exactly what happened. You can see the low here. But what we see happen here is, again, a 15-minute bullish market structure shift, so that we have the double confluence here at the 50% level. And again, a beautiful 50% pullback. So this was another scalp that I took just here. And if you're following my X, you'll get the updates on the trades there. That was a scalp. I'm holding this main position out after taking 50% until I see a bearish hourly market structure shift, but that's going to become clear soon as the trend forms. So the hourly trend is starting to look something like this now. And the next scalp that I'm looking at is a pullback here to form a new higher low, to then hopefully make a new high on the hourly. And we'll trade this trend until it ends, and I have a few targets for where it's going to end, which I'll go through in a minute. But for now, we have this beautiful 50% pullback here after a double 15-minute market structure shift. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's the long opportunity here. And a beautiful leg up since that. So that was a nice trade if you caught that. again, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the same to play out. We've already had a pullback to the 0.382 almost. But if this is a temporary top for now, I would like to see this pullback again to the 50% level or lower. This being the hourly low currently. So if you see a 15-minute market structure shift at the 50% level or lower here, you'll know I'm entering my long position. And if this continues to pump up, we'll just raise the fib. But you can see clearly that this is the hourly low. So if this breaks, this would be an indication to me that this very short uptrend is reversing. The reason being that we are entering a downtrend. We are in a clear downtrend on the 4 hour. So if we're looking at targets for this uptrend, we can just look at on the higher time frames. We did identify this reversal here with a confirmation of a close here. Beautiful 50% pullback before going lower. So that's our second leg down. 1, 2. Do we get a third or more? What will answer this question is an hourly bearish market structure shift. That will send us lower. And you can see how high this trend can go. It can come all the way up here before we start and remain bearish. This is still within the downtrend structure. Hence why I've placed this 4 hour OB up here. This could be some sort of reversal zone here. Even this nice high here. In my eyes, this is the 1 hour high currently. I don't like any of these as a high. So for me, this is the hourly high currently. This is the 4 hour. So yeah, this is our structure right now. And I'm looking for some sort of structure to form here. And then again, potentially a reversal. We'll have to see. So comfortable in this long, looking for scalps. We'll take another scalp if I see a market structure shift at the 50% of this leg. Hopefully that'll be a bit lower than the 50%. Some nice risk to reward trades. But for now, that's what the trade looks like. What does the hourly MACD? Hourly MACD is coming down slightly. If this can pull back into this zone and we get the MACD come down slightly, we might get some type of push off of this reversal here. So yeah, that's the structure. Uptrend, clear one, beautiful 50% pullbacks. We're going to trade this to the end. So we're looking for another one. Same setup. It's really important to take profits along the way because you never know when this is going to break. This could break right now. And that's indication that we're going to go lower. But if that occurs, it's too late for your longs. And so this is why I find it's a good idea to have some type of swing position and then some scalps along the way. But make sure you take profits and you know, you close out some of these trades, because if you get a 1-to-1 risk to reward, that's enough to be profitable. So always close out some 25%, 50%, whatever. Total chart looks the same. total chart is exactly the same. Closed out most of this BNB long. Closed out this XRP long. I also gave this to my ex. I mean, these are the setups I'm taking. And it's up to you whether, you know, you take my advice or not. Not financial advice at all. This is just what I'm trading, my setups. But I spoke about it on the live, and I also gave you the opportunity to see it on my ex. But this was the trade I took. You can see it's exactly the same setup. 15-minute trend reversal indication. Beautiful 50% pullback with another market structure shift here. I ended up taking a very small 15-minute market structure shift just here. But you could have been more conservative taking it just here. Again, it's another great trade. And I could have held this, but I wanted my profits on this. This is a really nice trade. And if it comes back again for the 50, we can wait for a 15-minute market structure shift and see if the exact same thing plays out. Taking 50% off my Brett, but I'm holding this one out. I really like this setup. I think this could go a bit higher. Again, beautiful pullbacks, 2 in a row here. Took profits on this. I didn't actually add, but I could have added here. When was this? Sunday? Well, I don't check the charts on Sunday usually, but again, that would have been a great second entry. And so what do you think we're going to do now? Next leg. Wait for the 50%. See if you get a 15-minute market structure shift. It's so easy, you can't go wrong. As long as you've got your risk management under control, you're logging trades so you can figure out where you're going wrong and what's right. And so just do what's right. Trade consistently. Wait for the setup. So we can reasonably reject at any point really from here, although I would expect higher into this 50% zone and potentially even this bearish 4-hour OB at the top here, up to around 114k, 114k, sorry. So this does have the potential to reverse here, or it has the potential to reverse here, in my opinion. I'll be waiting for one of those, and I'll be out of my longs by then. I've taken potentially 2 or 3 scalp longs on the way up, and I'll be looking for long positions to take back down. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm not sure if we'll get anybody live today, but if anybody joins, do feel free to put some altcoins in the comments. Happy to do some charts. Or if you've got any questions about the strategy at all, very happy to help. Not financial advice. I don't pretend to be able to chart things like gold or silver, but I find it interesting to see how my strategy aligns with it sometimes. In this case in particular, you can see we had a 15-minute bullish market structure shift here. Pretty decent pullback, but it does seem that we've, again, similarly to crypto, we're in this uptrend right now. What's interesting about gold is we have the hourly high just here. And if we can break this, it's my thinking that given that we have a pullback that doesn't create too much liquidity underneath, perhaps a deeper one, that this is going to continue higher too. The only thing that will tell us that that's going to happen is the hourly market structure shift though. Until then, we can actually reject at any point here below this low, because we are in a downtrend on the 1 hour. And I'm not saying that's going to correlate to crypto specifically, but it's interesting to see how it plays out. Silver's already broken the hourly high. Looks to me like silver's just going to continue higher. Dixie has some liquidity below. This is the opposite way. So the Dixie's come into this bearish OB. How many times have we tagged this now? This will now be the third time tagging this bearish OB. And we're bound to push through it at some point. That's not to say that we don't have another rejection. But for now, yeah, we're still in an uptrend, even on the 4 hour. 1 hour did break the bearish low. So I guess we'll have to see if this can come back 50, take us a bit lower. That will give us a nice push in crypto. And take some of this liquidity down here too. But it's a nice trend that we have. I don't actually expect us to break this for now, this low. S&P just looks like an altcoin chart right now. So again, S&P's broken the hourly high. It really looks to me like we're going to see continuation across the board. Yo, what's going on? So long, nice. Let's have a look at the soul chart. Thank you for joining, man. Nice to see you here, one Glenn W. I've not checked these charts in a while, to be fair. So, as you can see, I was waiting for that high to be broken. Beautiful hourly high. So long, 158.67. Nice. So you can even see the structure here exactly as we've been talking about. I assume this is the exact trade that you took. Beautiful trade. 158.67 there. Beautiful trade. What's lovely about this trade in particular, and I love these trades because you have a 15-minute market structure shift on the hourly chart that's bearish, but on the 15-minute that's bullish. So you take a little bit more of a risk. In this case, it was less of a risk because the total and Bitcoin were in confluence. So we had a bit more to tell us that the market was shifting than just the Sol chart. So the Sol chart in effect was more bearish than Bitcoin and the total. Bitcoin and total were telling us that we were going to reverse the trend. So you caught it early on Sol, which is really, really nice. And now you're in the trade and we've made another hourly market structure shift. So you can take 50% off at this point and hope that the hourly structure shifts on Sol. And then we get some type of pullback and a push. Unfortunately, that does bring us back down to entry. So it may be sensible to close this trade out on a 15-minute bearish market structure shift, which does look like it's already occurred just there. At this point, I would have taken most of my profits just with this bearish market structure shift in expectation of us coming a bit lower, reversing the 15-minute, but staying within the 1 hour trend that's now shifting bullish. But this has the potential to come as low as here, so this trade will actually get stopped out. So thinking about the risk, it's up to you whether or not you think that this is going to continue higher and not come back to your entry. But let me know what you think about that. That's my thoughts. Great trade. That's a 2-hour trade. I'd have really enjoyed taking that. And I'd be happy fully closing that out at this point. Even with the confirmation of the reversal and liquidity building. This is primed to come down to at least the 382. Will you be comfortable if it comes back this much? That depends on your style of trading, I guess. But hopefully that helps. If you want to look at that in confluence with the total, it's difficult because the total hasn't made a bearish 15-minute market structure shift unless you want to consider this. Which you could do. Liquidity building, bearish structure shift, push into the 50% before lower. I'm not comfortable with how that setup looks personally. This looks more to me like bullish continuation. 50%. Potentially we come back to the 50%, but it's not for sure. And I don't short uptrends like this. Clearly, I just wait for them to pull back to a zone that I'm comfortable entering. But yeah, no, really nice Sol trade there, dude. I'll be dead happy with that. And so yeah, I guess to recap, I'm not shorting anything yet, but what would be nice to see is a pullback to the 50% and a 15-minute bullish market structure shift before we head higher. So that's the next long I'll be taking. Otherwise, I'm out of my scalp. from here, and I'm still in my semi-swing long position from here, in hopes that we push up to at least this 50% zone. But yeah, we'll see how long the trend lasts, I guess. But we just trade what we see. Nice, man. I was wondering what your name was. Will. Nice to meet you, man. Tom. Yeah. I was going to say, you must have been seeing something similar. But yeah. 80%, that sounds good. Reasonable. And then if it comes back down to your entry, then you're still in profits, which is great. Yeah, so it's a trade that pays regardless then. And if we do continue higher from above the 50%, then you'll be golden. That could absolutely happen. So yeah, I think that's smart. But hopefully all of that makes sense. If you've got any more questions, feel free to just message me on X. I'm here all the time. Otherwise, give this a subscribe, and then if you put notifications on, you can see when I'm going live, which is usually a few times a week. But for now, we're looking for 50% pullback on this 15-minute leg for more long positions. So I'll see you Wednesday then.